I'm going to go and not bring my figure in just yet. I'm going to actually start modeling. I'm not good at modeling in Blender, so it's bear with me here while I work this out. So GZ1 to bring the cube up to the bottom shelf. I'm just going to go and make it a bit smaller. SZ perhaps. Oh, that's actually the median point. I'd like for that to be on the bottom. So I think that's under here somewhere. Set origin. There we go. Set origin to 3D cursor, because that is still there. Now if I go and scale it, SZ, it goes and turns into this flat little thing. So that's going to be the base of my brush. I'm going to go and squish it down a bit with SY, like so. And you know the brush I'm talking about, right? It's this big thing. Maybe this is a little bit too big. I think I'm going to leave it like this. The big thing, it has a handle on the back and it has bristles sticking up on the front here. This is going to be my brush base. I'll just call it brush for now, because the bristles are going to be parented to it at the moment. So the bristles, I'm envisioning them to be... Nobody's good at modeling, except for Chris. He's okay at modeling. He is, he's doing a good job. He's doing all his little bits and pieces in Blender, like when it comes to shoes and stuff. He does, and it is really just a matter of practice. I think you just keep at it and you stick at it and you just get better at it. I'm kind of hoping. So for the bristles, I'm gonna go. I'll use a cylinder. Perhaps a little large. Also very high geometry. I don't think I need it quite that high, so vertices maybe 8 will suffice. 6 is probably enough, really, if I'm really honest. And let's be honest with one another. That's not bad. I'm gonna go and do the same thing that I did before with GZ1. Put this on to here, and I think I'd like the bristles also to have that origin point at the center, and that was under object. I've already forgotten. I've just done it. Where was it? Something about set origin, wasn't it? It's right there, Jay. It's right in front of you. I can't see it. Can you see it? Wasn't there something around set origin? There we go, at the very top. Duh. You opened Blender once and then you closed it again. I felt like that when I started with Blender. That was so many years ago, though. The thing with Blender is it really... Whoops, I see this is not the best on the trackpad. I'll go and scale this down. Like so. See, the origin isn't quite where I thought it should be. Set origin to 3D cursor. There we go. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. So scale this down so that it's kind of the correct height. Shift Z will make that slimmer. So I'm scaling into 2 directions here, and this could be one such bristle. I'm thinking might come a little bit higher. GZ like so. And I've just noticed actually that we have faces at the front and the back. That isn't really necessary, so I'm going to go and remove those in a second. But just so that we're on the right track here, Shift Z will move that into kind of this position. So this is kind of our first bristle on that thing, and then I can use an array modifier to make more of them in that direction, That's almost all I want to do. I'm gonna apply all the transformations also to the cube here. Just make a small modification on this guy, I think. If that is in fact how it works, I think the bottom face we don't need. It'll help with UV unwrapping. There, that can go. And I think also because I'm going to bend this, I'm going to go and add some edge loops into this guy. So Control R and add some edge loops here like this. Probably going to suffice. There. Ding, there we go. So now we have extra geometry. Okay, just in case we do want to put a subdivision surface modifier on this guy, I'm going to add some edge loops in here as well. Also not strictly necessary, but I'm thinking that perhaps I might save my bacon just in case I need it. I'm not sure if I will. I'm doing that with Control R and then S and X, and I'll just move these guys to the outside here. And then on this edge as well. That's necessary because this is SY now. Otherwise, if I do put a subdivision surface modifier on it, the geometry is going to collapse. So if you put something on a cube, it'll just go turn into a sphere, and that's, you know, totally uncool. The easiest way to create every stylized hair in Blender tutorial. Ooh, that sounds exciting. Thank you. I'm going to go and open that into a new tab so I can watch it later. Ooh. Oh, do you know what? I saw that thumbnail. I've not actually looked at the video, but yes, I saw the thumbnail. Thumbnail's totally familiar. Thank you for checking. Bang, you're dead. Thank you for following. I appreciate that. Bang, you're dead. That is good. Good name. Okay, and yeah, also, do you know what? On the subject of modeling things in Blender, you gotta start with something super simple. So hair might be a little overkill to get started, but it's not impossible. It's just Blender is just one of those things. There's just so much to the puzzle, but it will grow on you definitely. And there's so many funky tricks, and there's so much information out there on Blender. It's really nice. So if this is one of my bristles, I'm going to go and add an array modifier to this that goes maybe this way first, maybe that way first. So not X, we want to go and do Y in two type spaces like this. That's cool. And then we go and make a few bristles here. Maybe that's too many bristles. I don't really mind. Let's just say that's the bristles. Go in that direction. And then I want to add another modifier that essentially adds another array on the other side. So this one duplicates. We only still have a single bristle, but the next guy is going to go and do the same, this in minus steps, so -2 on the X. And then we have that spacing, and then we just go on to kind of that. Perfect. Brush. All right. Is it in the center? No, of course not. What are you thinking? Jay, it's not in the center. What are you thinking? Move one bristle, G, Shift, Z, and kind of move that into here. Or actually, be clever about it and look at it from the top there. Be clever. That's fairly center, isn't it? That's not bad, right? Also, as Jeremy would totally remind me, Jay, save your project. Issues could happen at any time. Thank you, Jeremy. Even though you didn't type it out, I think I heard you telepathically. Jay, save the project. Posers a hoser. I love it. Oh, Nico, so you did buy ZBrush then? Okay, awesome. That is very cool. Congrats. Which one did you go for? The full version, or did you go for ZBrush Core? ZBrush Core is perfectly adequate for the stuff that you do in DAZ Studio. I don't think the full version is really necessary. What's my project? Paint project here. I'm going to add another folder here that I'll call Blend Files. I'm going to call this my brush. There. Okay, so before we add the handle, which is fairly simple, I'm gonna go and try to move these things the way I want them to. I don't actually know if that's possible, so I haven't tested this out yet. I gotta be brutally honest. Let's see what happens. So we still have that modifier on there. So if I go and bend this guy now and just use the top face for a little bit of proportional editing, connected only. I was thinking of then doing something like RX, is it? No, you see, this is what's not supposed to happen. I think I may have to apply this first. I think I may have to apply the modifiers first. Let me do that. That goes apply, apply, perfect. It's another point for iterative saving that. And now we're just moving all the top faces, so R, and we go X maybe. No! Oh no, what are you doing? It's because I think it's using the 3D cursor to move these guys around. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's working, but I think that's not the effect I want. Unless I just go and say that. Oops, I kind of G, Y. That would kind of almost work, wouldn't it? If I just put a little bit of variation into them. So I suppose what's bothering me now is that these things have actually turned shorter than those. So that's also not exactly what I want. I think it's all about the origin point here. So individual origins, will that work? R, Y, Z, no. Dude, R, X. It's almost better. G, Y. When I said I don't know much about Blender, I did mean that. Oh, I see. There we go. So that'll do the trick, right? I'm thinking. I'll add a little bit of variation on each particular bristle as we go and touch the character, but that is kind of where I want to go with this, I'm thinking. Elia, thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying that. It's less about teaching, I gotta be really honest, and more about doodling around and brute forcing my way through very difficult situations that I don't really understand myself. But what is really fun about this is doing this together with you. And there's so many funky tips that that come in from the chat. I'm happy that we can do this together, work this out together. Jay saves the forgotten channel. I'll create one immediately. Hey, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. I like this. I'm gonna go and save iteratively here. Just add the plus icon there, and let me go and turn this. In fact, put the bristles, just parent them, I'm thinking, to the brush. I always forget how to do that. I think I use the brush last in this selection, and then Control P like that, and then no. See, this is done the wrong thing. It's always the other way around than I think it is in Blender. And now we have the brush here, and then we have the bristles here. Perfect. So my idea then was to just take this and say RX90, like so. And then we'll add a handle on this as well. So that's going to be another cylinder, I'm thinking. And then we'll just finish that off, and then we'll see what that looks like with the like that against the figure, and we'll see if that kind of works. Let's say cylinder, and that can probably have a few more bits and pieces here. Let's make it 24. Make it a round handle, and we'll go and do it actually again because once again I forgot to take the things off there, so we don't want anything. We don't want this filled. There we go. So RX90 like so, and then we go, I think S Shift Y to make it slimmer. And that's a good handle there. You can also, if you don't want to use the shortcut keys, it's a bit confusing when you don't know what they are. You can also use these things here, and then you have that manipulator, the old-fashioned one. So you can do that, and then there's the one for rotate, so, and for scale. So that's also possible here. A little shorter, but I tend to leave it on the selection menu here, and then just go G for grab, R for rotate, S for scale, and then type the axis of what you want to move. So G for grab, followed by nothing. You just moves it around wherever your screen is aligned to, and then GY will highlight the y-axis, and now it just moves it into here. And then if you wanted to move it along the x and y-axis, so just on the bottom plane, you basically go and say shift the axis that's missing. That's a weird thing to remember that, but the z-axis is up. So if you go G shift Z, then both the x and y-axis will be, or we can move it along those axes, but not along the z-axis. So it's kind of nice to move it around that way. I think I might go and apply all transforms and just go and add a little bit of edge loopage here, especially well, we'll just leave them there. Fine. Okay, I'm just going to go and add one more kind of here. Just so that my grip doesn't collapse, and I need another one at the kind of top here. And this is another funky mode that Brian's just told me about. I used to use Shift Z to just go into wireframe mode so that I can see where I'm going to put my edge loop here. But Brian suggested we should all try to use this mode here, which is the X-ray mode. So that's almost like wireframe mode, but a little bit cooler. I really enjoy that more. So it's nice. Thank you, Brian. I've totally forgotten what I was going to do here. Oh yeah, the edge loop. Dude, are we actually editing the correct thing here? Edit mode, Control R. Totally doesn't do that anymore. Why not? What are you not editing edge loops in anymore? Totally confused. What did I do? I think I've done something seriously wrong here. I've removed faces. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I'm still on proportional editing, that's why. Duh. I just meant to move that to the top so that just in case we add a subdivision modifier to this place, to this piece here, it doesn't collapse. I'm also going to shade the smooth. In fact, I'm going to shade all the objects smooth. Shade, hello, smooth. Wasn't here, shade smooth, there we go. And the bristles as well. And then we don't see the chunky look on that anymore. It appears more high poly than it actually is. Okay. Oh, and then this grip needs a fill at the end. Like all select and F. And then that is that. Perfect. So let's see what happens if we go and save it first of all and bring our figure in and see how that would work against the body and see if that's actually, if that looks good. I think maybe just thinking about it, the grip here is maybe a little bit too chunky. So S Shift Y would make that a bit slimmer, like so. There. I could also probably go ahead and extrude some pieces here so that it looks a little bit more like a grip, maybe. So it's not a masterpiece, I totally grant you that. But hey, it's got a little bit of shape now. It was the cheap one from the Home Depot. NFT it, yes. Before it goes down to zero, yes, good point, Nico, good point. I totally forgot about your response now. Which one did you get? The full version or the the what's it called? The core version. And Neville, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, this is a brush I've made. This is really cool. The bristles are going to be adjusted in a second, because the idea was we're going to go and put that against a figure now. Control P and parent that. See, no, that's also incorrect. So I always forget it. Highlight the grip, then highlight the brush. Whatever selected last will be the parent, right? Oh, you're doing a student thing. Oh, even better. Even better. Object, that's it. And now we have one thing that we can move here. Okay, let's move, save, and import our Genesis figure and see how that's gonna look against that. OBJ, Genesis base, geometry, don't split. It doesn't actually do anything if you leave that out. If you enable this split by group, then it turns into separate pieces. But I'm kind of liking the idea of just not splitting that at all, keeping the polygroups intact. Ascania, thank you so much for subscribing. I didn't know you were not subscribed to my channel. Good to see you, buddy. Very good to see you. And also Vad, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel, all of you. So here we go. This is the figure, and we can see the brush might be... Oops. The brush might be a little bit too big. That's easily fixed, right? All transforms is also... Did I apply that? I'm not sure if I did. That needs to be all, you know, smaller, like so. Kind of depends what's going to look like in the thumbnail with the correct framing. Sort of angle it up. Oh yeah, also the median point should be like, yes, good point. They're all three different objects. I haven't turned them into a single object yet. Clever modelers would probably have done that. I'm a little concerned about the origin point, but it seems to work okay so far. So the idea just behind, those of you who've missed it, the idea behind this is that I'm gonna go and the idea of the thumbnail is supposed to be we're turning a Genesis 8 character into, no, actually we're adding a Genesis 8.1 shader to a Genesis 8 character, and as such I want to basically paint her in the thumbnail, just have like something like that, and that's what I'm making. So I've made myself this brush here, and I'm just about to kind of, you know, give her a good slap of paint, and the idea now is to bend the bristles so that essentially I'm doing that. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm confident. I'm confident. Maybe even rotate that around a little, like so. And the thumbnail will be something like from here. Weird Science X! How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And Panther, how you doing? There we go. I've just explained it, so there we go. I'm glad you ask. I'm glad you ask. I don't think I have to worry too much about the bristles actually. I might go and just go and roll. See, no, that's incorrect. What am I doing? Bristles. And we need a bit of proportional editing here. Might make that a little smaller as well. Where's the circle? Yeah, that's ever so slightly large. And all I wanted to do here really is to add a bit of variation so that not every bristle looks the same. X-ray mode. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think maybe in this case I might just not use it. Oi. Or I might also just hide the Genesis figure here for a second there. That might be better for me. I'm sure there's just much better ways of doing this, but I just don't know. Also, is it going to be noticeable in the tiny thumbnail that we're actually making? It doesn't matter. I'm having fun, that's all that counts, isn't it? To contour her backside, basically to paint that in. So it'll be, I'll make 2 renders of the figure, one with a kind of fairly cheap plastic shader. Not that the Genesis 8 shaders were cheap and plasticky, mind you. But yeah, that's the plan. One with a kind of cheap plastic shader, and then one with like amazing detail, or so I'm thinking. And then I'll go and mix those together with a funky brush effect in Photoshop. That's the idea. And this is just to illustrate where we're actually painting her. Those we're probably not gonna see. There, brush has seen better days. There's also, of course, the whole thing about putting the material on this. This is going to be interesting as well. Extreme and fast body painting, yes. That's the other thing, and that is something I should have really thought about much earlier, which of course I haven't. I should have UV unwrapped this properly. And this one actually is. That's cool. The bristles are those the bristles? This is the grip. Oh, we're in edit mode, aren't we? I see. If I was clever, I would have done much better different things, but sadly I'm not. This guy isn't. Yeah, it's also a UV unwrapped. I mean, it's not great. Is that better? I can't actually tell. That's the grip. These are all my bristles here. Oops. Bristles. Kind of works okay. I don't think I'm actually gaining anything by UV unwrapping that, because that'll now create vast amounts of bits and pieces. That was actually not such a good idea. This is still one UV for one bristle, and then we just go and duplicate them. So I'm happy about that. And then we have the brush here, and that's just the regular cube. So that might benefit. Might not. I don't think it matters much. I think this is going to be okay. I was thinking maybe just a simple wood material for this and that. We could even try to do the substance integration. If that still works, that should work, shouldn't it? I don't have to bring it into Substance Painter, but I think my Substance Painter integration still works. So if I just grab myself a nice wood material, that should do the trick. When does the masterclass go on sale on DAZ? Good question, Nico. I've basically put the finishing touches on it. The PDF document is ready. The kind of scene files that I'm including are also ready. I'm in the process of literally watching the whole 16 hours through again at twice the speed, and I'm kind of a third through. So once I'm happy, maybe there's things like I've missed in the edit, I might go and give DAZ a shout on Monday, and we'll take it from there. I think the sales page is designed so far. It's a bit of an exotic product, so it's it takes us all some thinking outside the box to make it happen. But hopefully, end of the month, end of next month, something like that. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Oh, Kemi, really? When I used to work in the supermarket, they had that quite often because there was a big bakery in the supermarket and the doors were kind of open all the time and birds kind of found their way into the supermarket. And they think it's hilarious because they think, well, you know, we'll just live here. Sometimes pigeons, but usually like little sparrows and stuff. And they just fly around and it's difficult to catch them. Also, we have, I just thought, we have the material brush, the material library in Blender, don't we? Let's see if that can help me out. This is kind of grip mat here. It's under... No, it's not actually enabled. I don't think I have it. No, there it is. Material library. There we go. Sample materials. Maybe there's a nice wood in there, so we don't have to go the substance route, even though that would be kind of cool. Let's try to do both. Wood P. Wood. Add, apply to selected, like that. Boom. And? Does it work? Please select an object. Haven't I done that? I thought I had. This here. Apply. And? Oh, that's the grip. I should have selected the grip. There we go. It's gone on there. It's not bad, but it's also not awesome, is it? What other wood do we have? Like this one here. Apply selected like this. And thinking about it. They didn't buy anything. No, sadly they didn't. And then there's wood boards. Apply selected. I don't remember how much overhead this was. Okay, that does not look great. I might even just do that in DAZ Studio and see if I can do that. Let's go and remove that here and just do the materials in DAZ Studio. Maybe I have a shader there, so I'll go and call this one the brush base, and then this one here will be the bristle. Don't think we need high detail on that anyway. And this is the grip, and then technically should already be in a fairly good position. So let's see if we can just export it and see what that looks like in DAZ Studio before we do any brush final-ish, let's say. Scale needs to be 100 times larger. We want to do selection only, and keep vertex order. It probably isn't necessary here, but I'd like to pop that on anyway. So since we haven't moved our lady, we can go and import that into here, and let's see what that looks like. What did I call it again? Paint project. There we go. And that's probably okay at DAZ scale. There it is. Haha. Brush final, and we have surfaces. Yes, bristle, brush base, and grip. So maybe those two could have some wood, I'm thinking. See what my Iray library has in regards to wood. There we go. Monochrome wood planks. That maybe planks is a bit mahogany floorboards. Yes, something like that. Walnut semi-gloss. Let's see, shall we? It's probably enough, I'm thinking, to get the wood effect going. We'll play with the tiling a little bit. This is the grip. If we wanted to make that a bit lighter, that's also perfectly fine. Then we have the base. Oop, that's still that. That's the base tiling. perfectly fine. Now the bristles, I don't really know what bristle material would look like. Perhaps just a kind of an off-white beige, or even something like a color, the color that we're painting her in with. Maybe it's something like a skin color. We'll probably know better when we have it. That looks a bit creepy, doesn't it? Do we have any bristly type material? Could it be like fiber, leather, grunge? I wouldn't even know what to look for. Bouquet material, also not bad. That might work for that. Hey, that actually looks like bristle material, doesn't it? That looks not bad. Let's see if we can play with the tiling a bit. I do like that the tips are now colored in. That is kind of cool, isn't it? Tiling. Let's see which one does what. That is that. That's vertical, and that is horizontal. No, I like that. And then maybe the offset, if we want it more in gray. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It looks like bristles. I kind of like the default, I gotta say. I might just leave that. Yeah, default it is. Sebastian, how you doing? And we're intersecting a little bit with her arm there. But maybe that's, you know, that's not bad. I can always adjust that later with a little sculpting thing in ZBrush. I can tell Nico a little bit about ZBrush. But so far, I think that's okay. I think I can live with that.